out Wisconsin Lutheran graduate Colin Knippel, who stole the show after being selected 4th overall to the Charlotte Hornets. Meanwhile, for the Milwaukee Bucks, it was a quiet night. No picks in the first round, but they're on the board today, selecting 17th in the second round, 47th overall. Now, who will they pick? A few Wisconsin area prospects to keep in mind that are still on the board include Marquette's Cam Jones and Wisconsin's own John Tonje. You can listen to day 2 of the NBA draft tonight, starting at 6:30 right here on 100.5 ESPN. The Milwaukee Brewers are enjoying a day off after taking the series against the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday, winning 4-2. Shake up the Mizorowski taking the pitcher's battle against Paul Skeens, showing dominance on the mound. 5 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and allowing 2 hits. Brewers are back in action tomorrow against the Colorado Rockies. Tune in right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
All right, guys, this is it. Home stretch. 2 weeks left for Best of Madison voting. We are so Madison. They even got streets named after us.
Love, Goff, and Darnold are unique names. Williams is a very generic name.
Almost as generic as Brown. I totally understand.
That's phony. I said he's coming back so he doesn't go out on a absolute fart in the bathtub of last two seasons.
What?
It's gross. It's terrible. Isn't it fart in the wind?
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly Brown. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power. You heard Primetime Shine with Matt Hamilton there. Throwback show of Rutledge and Hamilton. This show started as the Jump Around, then became Rutledge and Hamilton, is now Jim, Matt, and Molly. Molly is setting up for Made 'em Believe. Tickets are still available for that, and you can do that at uwhoops2015.com. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan tonight at the Orpheum Theater. Starts at 7, so get your tickets now. Doors open at 6 for general admission. So Molly Brown out taking care of that.
Taking care of business.
Yeah, but I don't like it. She should be here.
I don't entirely disagree with you, but
not on
Molly
her.
works hard.
No,
Not
Molly
on
works
her.
harder than anyone here, honestly.
Yeah, it's not on her. I blame Ben Rust.
Yeah.
Like, how about you do something, Ben? Like, it's your event.
Yeah.
You show up and look pretty. Like, can we actually get something done? Exactly, Barry Alvarez here. The NBA draft was last night. The Milwaukee Bucks did not make a pick. They didn't have a pick to make. I thought they maybe would do something tomorrow or last night because, I don't know, they have this star player and they have, like, 3 players under contract. Like, it is Giannis is under contract.
Giannis, that's a good point.
And who else is there?
They have Damian Lillard. Then they also have Kyle Kuzma.
So the 2 guys who are healthy, A.J. Green.
AJ Green's a restricted
You're
free
right,
agent.
not under contract.
What about Pat?
Pat Connaughton is back, so now I think they have 5. They have 5
They
guys.
can barely put out a roster. So they need some moves to be made. As you see different moves, the C.J. McCollum was traded, Jordan Poole, Drew Holiday. Like, the Bucks have to do something sooner than later. They do have a pick tonight. I am, in draft day style, I am going for Elijah Martin or bust. That's what I want, for the movie draft. What was I forgot the play of Mac.
Oh, yeah. Vontae
Mac or bust, or bust. And you can chime in on it if you do care. I don't know how many of you are dialed in, but John Tonje could be a name people would throw out there. 844-770-3776. Who's your or bust player for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight? Mine is Elijah Martin from Florida Atlantic University. He went to the Final Four there, and he played he was a starter on that team, and he was a starter on the national championship team. Florida Gators, guy's a winner, and the guy, if he was 2 inches taller, probably would have been a fringe lottery pick. So every once in a while, that's the type of guy you got to bet on. I think, in the second round of the NBA draft.
So, what are we, 17th in the second round?
17th, 47th pick overall, yeah.
So, what are the chances that he actually drops that far?
That's right in his range, right there with John Tonje. They are both players that are right in that range. There's going to be some players.
How old is he? You know?
A little bit younger than Tonje.
I believe he's 23. I was looking at his draft profile
22,
earlier.
but it could be 23.
He might be 23 by the time the league year
That's
starts.
it, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Tonje will be 28 years old by the time the league starts.
So,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
24 to be, but still.
Yeah. So my whole thing is the Bucks tend to draft guys that are to develop them a little bit. Like we need a guy who can like start next year, or at least see the floor as
rotational player next year. Yeah,
100%. Like we can't afford to be like, this guy's gonna be something in a couple years. Like,
yeah,
I don't think
in a couple of years.
I could be wrong, but
you're not gonna have Giannis here if that's who you draft. So I agree with you on that. A player that could contribute on some level this year. And look, they've had some. Like honestly, I think they're better in the second round than they are in the first. Like Andre Jackson, like I like him. He's a little something. Finding these, obviously they developed AJ Green.
Beauchamp was a nothing burger. He was the first round.
Yeah, Ryan Rollins. I don't know. I think Bucks fans are a little too high on him because they never see any young players. So they're like, look at this guy. He's functional. Like I think. Like
He's young.
I like him, but like not as part of a team that's competing for anything. And Giannis wants to compete. And I would keep Rollins around, but I got to see a lot more out of him. But those are all kind of second round or free agent two-way player flyers that have worked out. Pat Connaughton was a player like that. The problem with Pat Connaughton is that you paid him. Good teams don't pay Pat Connaughton. They let someone else pay a guy like Pat Connaughton. When these guys kind of reach their ceiling and they go from bargain to, at best, fair market value, that's when you have to let them go.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely served his purpose on this team.
Yeah.
Right? He got a ring out of the deal, so.
And the Bucks got a ring because of what he did. So we have Evan Cohen joining the show, and we're going to hear some audio from him a little bit later because, and we'll actually basically have him address it, but he had some interesting thoughts on, off the draft, Atlanta. Long story short, Atlanta moved back in the draft, and they got the Pelicans pick. And the Pelicans pick is for next year is the lower or higher, however you want to do it, but the better of the two picks between Milwaukee.
Right?
Well, no, it's between Milwaukee and New Orleans because Milwaukee and New Orleans have a pick swap. So whichever one of those picks turns out to be the better pick, that's the one that goes to Atlanta. So Evan had a theory that Atlanta could all of a sudden be in play for the Milwaukee Bucks should Giannis get moved, because if the Bucks tank, they want their own pick back, and they can get it then from Atlanta.
Right.
So we'll get into that, but Bobby Marks and Shams are on Get Up this morning, and I want to play Bobby Marks' sound second. I want to get to Shams first because Shams is kind of reiterating the reporting. Now, I 100% believe that Shams is getting this from somewhere. If you want to nitpick with me on the word reporting, that's fine, because I think this is more of he's hearing from well-sourced people that Giannis is, for the first time ever, just kind of exploring what could be the options as far as around the league. And that maybe is not worth a full-on report. But in today's competitive landscape, I think you still kind of have to do it. But let's hear Shams, the latest from Shams from Get Up this morning.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has been in Milwaukee for 12 years. And so I reported during draft, combine, and lottery week that he was open-minded about seeing are there best possible fits outside of Milwaukee. And that is a due diligence process that he has undertaken. But again, he's been there for 12 years, so there's a level of equity in seeing what can the Bucks do at the draft, what can they do during free agency, how can they improve the team. And so he's going to remain open-minded. I don't think his future is necessarily tied to this week, to free agency week. It's going to be a process where you see how this team looks into July, well into July potentially, and then ultimately he will see how the Bucks look, how the chess pieces look across the league, and ultimately have some form of a resolution.
And, Matt, what I take out of that is Giannis is giving the Bucks a chance to prove that they can fix things, that this roster can be something that works. And to
salvaged.
That's Giannis. To me, that's Giannis being, quote-unquote, built different, which is a phrase I hate, or Giannis being open to options. I think Giannis, and this is the part I hope we never find out. I think if Giannis sees a roster that he believes in, he's going to be like, all right, I'm good. Let's give this season a run. this is the part I hope we don't find out. If Giannis sees a roster that he doesn't believe in, or the Bucks can't put anything together that it all looks anything better, more than a poo-poo platter, then I think that's where you're going to see Giannis say, I want out. And now, hopefully, the Bucks don't get to that point, and then everyone can call Shams a liar. When realistically, it was probably like, "Hey, the Bucks had work to do." Mm-hmm. Giannis has put pressure on the Bucks before. That's how they got Drew Holiday, and he's going to put pressure on him again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. You have to keep your star player happy if you want to keep him around. And right now, this team is not capable of making it to an Eastern Conference final with all the injuries that have gone on in the East. It's still, I don't think, is good enough to go up against the Knicks or even the Pacers without Halliburton. I don't think they're good enough to win. The Celtics are making moves left and right, and it seems like they're going to be able to put a competent team out there without Tatum. So, and like we talked about the other day, the Pistons look really good. Like, they look like they're going to be pretty solid here in the future. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know what the Bucks can do. Like, Horst is going to have to pull a rabbit out of this hat if he's going to be able to put together a team that Giannis is like, this is 100% a team I can make it to an Eastern Conference Finals with.
Absolutely. So, let's hear Bobby Marks from ESPN, former NBA executive as well, because he's basically reiterating what you're saying.
For the next month, I'm doing everything possible to add around Giannis, and that's why I think the next month is the most important in franchise history for Milwaukee as far as what they do. The one name Tom didn't mention was Damian Lillard. He's going to be out for a significant time, and Gary Trent Jr. is also a free agent. I think that the problem, if you're not exploring Giannis deals now and you wait until next year, now he's going to be on an expiring contract. He's a year older. The value starts to come down a little bit here. They could basically wipe the slate clean. I understand where John Horster, general manager, is coming. When you have a top 3 player on your roster, you're doing everything possible to add pieces. But I keep on coming back to dead ends. What are the options going to be? Who in free agency, the non-tax, they have so many free agents that we might get to December and Giannis might say, wait a minute, we can't compete in the Eastern Conference. Now I want out. And now the options maybe get a little bit diminished.
I mean, and not only that, when other teams see that your back is up against the wall, they're not going to offer you as much. Like right now, unfortunately, is where Giannis is worth the most. Your preseason, obviously he's still healthy, so there's no injury to worry about, which, you know, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but it could happen before the trade deadline next year, which would obviously diminish his value. Like, there's a lot of things that go the wrong way. Like, right now, Giannis is as valuable as he's going to be for the Bucks moving forward. So, but I don't really want him to be an option, but who else do we have that we can actually use? Like, Pat Connaughton isn't moving the needle for anybody. Kyle Kuzma is the only guy I think the Bucks could move and get something in return for, something that's serviceable.
Yeah, and his contract is probably the more attractive part than his play because it's a descending contract.
Okay.
And if certain teams are looking to move out of a threshold of the second apron, then maybe that's something you want to do. And again, if you're new to the show, second apron, the easiest way to call it is the hard cap. Yeah. Because if you're in that second apron, you really can't do much as far as roster building.
Because you're getting taxed, right?
Well, it's the tax part, but then it's you can't trade a first-round pick for the next 7 years out. You can't take on extra salary. You have to match dollar for dollar on a trade. The type of player you can, or the type of contract you can offer for the mid-level exception is lower, so you usually get a lesser player in that window as well. So it really is punitive, which, again, any idiot out there whining that Chris Middleton isn't on his team doesn't understand basketball, at least roster building, because the Bucks would be hard capped, and then you just have the corpse of Chris Middleton and nowhere to do anything.
What's he getting, like $35 million, $33 million this year?
33. He
just opted in, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't blame the guy for opting into that contract at all, but like, we couldn't carry
because
for
that would
40 games
that would have put them
that he's going to play.
But that would have put them back in the hard cap, I would assume. Now, because they barely got under it getting rid of him. And then also, then you can't make those trades. And I guess at best you could try to trade him now as an expiring contract, but I don't think the value was there for Chris Middleton. I think John Horst, to his credit, at least wanted some sort of guaranteed financial flexibility, because I don't think last year's team, even if it was healthy Dame and healthy Chris Middleton, they would be throwing up on the court if playing Indiana.
Look at even what the Celtics are doing this offseason, where they're offloading Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis and just any way they can, just because they need to get under that salary tax, like you're saying. And they're pretty much waving the flag on next year's their gap year, which makes sense because Tatum, their best player, is out for the year. And now the Bucks, it feels like the Bucks just aren't committing to anything right now.
And they're going to have to. There's been some trades. I believe Bobby Marks was on to put together these trades of you could trade Dame Lillard and Pat Connaughton for Bradley Beal and Royce O'Neal. So at least you get two functional basketball players.
Yeah.
I don't love Bradley Beal, but he doesn't make your cap situation worse. He basically makes the same amount of money as Dame for the same amount of time. I think he also has a player option for next year. And then Royce O'Neal is similar to Pat Connaughton in contract. So you still maintain some roster flexibility, and then you have...
Is he better
than Connaughton? Yes.
Okay.
And he could be starting...
Forgive me, I haven't watched a lot of Suns basketball this year.
No, it's fine.
Mr. NBA, too. I know that's surprising.
It is shocking.
What?
But our Siding Unlimited poll question. Bobby Marks says the next month for the Bucks is the most important in franchise history. Do you agree? 844-770-3776. That's the Carbos Talking text line. List is more. At Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based advisory firm. They don't chase commissions and never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. So Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
We don't speak about
Speak about rivals.
We are not rivals. Yeah, me and Kay are not on the same level in the same sense that Matt thinks that the Bears and the Packers aren't on the same level.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Medicine on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going. Lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
the most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can save even more with 15% off their IKEA purchase when they sign up for IKEA Family for free. Visit IKEA Oak Creek, IKEA Schaumburg, or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on July 1st.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in July 1st at 6:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
TJ from the road says, I agree, Matt. Now's the time. They don't want to look back like the Packers did when they could have traded Rodgers for 4 first-round picks. That was off of your take. That
it is a good. It's a good point, and I like the comparison because if we got, and again, I like Rodgers, but if we'd got rid of him after his second MVP season, we got a king's ransom for him.
It's Kaiser Sosa.
Second back, like the most recent.
In the back-to-back,
yeah. So 844-770-3776. Call us talking text line. List is more our siding unlimited poll question. Bobby Marks says the next month is the most important for the Bucs in franchise history. Do you agree? Ron in the Key says no. That was the month they won the title. That's more for the franchise's legacy than for the franchise history. That's the way I would describe
Do you think
that.
if they don't win that title that Giannis would have stayed with the Bucs more than 2 seasons afterwards?
That's a fair point. But I would describe that month, that week, as more, or that month in this case, as more of like the crowning achievement of the Bucs franchise, not the most important.
See, that's why I voted no, mostly because like that was the most important. Because Ryan makes a good point. Like if you don't win that, maybe Giannis is more open to the idea of leaving.
Honestly, if they don't win that, he's probably not here today.
But if they don't win that, they might not have hung on to Drew and Middleton as long as they did. You know what I mean? Like they showed, and I like it when you show a little bit of loyalty to your players, but at the same time they ended up selling the farm and didn't get anything out of it. They don't win that. Maybe there is a little more roster flexibility, and if Giannis was still around, you might have been able to maintain relevance. I'm not saying I would trade it for relevance right now. Like we've said it 100 times on this show. I'll take a championship and a couple years of sports purgatory.
Yep.
But right now, we're in the purgatory, and we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. At least when you drop down, you're like, okay, here's the end. Right now, the end that I'm seeing is 2031 when we have control of our own first draft pick again. That's like the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's a long way away.
And that, I would imagine Giannis is not close to the same player.
No.
That's 6 years from now.
Yeah, he's not going to be. He'll be 39.
I'd bet he's not here. In some way, shape, or form, he's not here. So, yeah, it is a weird time to be a Bucs fan. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. So you can chime in on the siding unlimited poll question. Bobby Mark says the next month for the Bucs is the most important in franchise history. Do you agree? And right now, it's almost 50-50. So. I think there's a case for both. I think, and I get what Ron and the Key's doing, I get what you're saying, but like you're being too literal. When you're talking about
I took it very literally too.
Because if you are looking at what the Bucs are going to be for the next 5 years, this is a massively important month. And every NBA person, and not just ESPN's, Nick Wright has kind of hinted at this. It seems across the board, have kind of all come to the same conclusion, which would kind of back Sham's reporting, that the Bucks have to figure it out this month. They're not getting a free pass. Like, I know Eric Name wrote about a gap year that maybe the Bucks could talk Giannis into. That's the key part. Talk Giannis into. John Horst has to do something here that gets Giannis excited. That Giannis says, all right, I'm good on this. Now, Matt, this is the tricky part, though. Because I could say the original sin of where the Bucks got into trouble here with Giannis would be, honestly, I think it's after he won the title. He was giving the Bucks deferred to him or maybe gave him too much power.
Yeah.
Because a good GM might have had to look at things a little bit more with a critical eye and say, and maybe this is ownership too, and you don't want to trade away the band and you're trying to like fill the stadium more, but there really wasn't a reason to extend Chris Middleton. He was oft hurt when they extended him. That was a bad move. Extending Pat Connaughton and the way they did it, we talked about that before, but basically they ended up paying him a whole extra year this year coming up here, longer than they should have, but they screwed up
because they screwed up a trade, right?
Yeah, and they screwed up how they built out his contract with that trade. So that is another move where that's just not a good move. I don't have a problem with the Dame move or the Drew move, but those two moves right there are even looking at a Lopez and saying, are we maximizing his value? Like, the best franchises don't run the team into the ground, because Lopez was quickly exposed after Budenholzer left is that he's not a defensive. He could play defense in that one specific defense that Budenholzer ran. And so you do want to find a balance here of getting off players like Middleton, like Connaughton, like Portis, even like Lopez. I'm not saying they all had to go, but those are all players that maybe Giannis liked, that Horst and ownership also liked and deferred to, like, let's just keep the band together. And then also coaching. You passed on Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, obviously not great results in Philadelphia, but, I mean, their star player, I feel, has played 40 games over the last 2 years. So, like, that hurts Nick Nurse.
And he's won a championship.
He has. So, but some reporting had it that Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse. He wanted Adrian Griffin. That didn't work out. And they had to move so badly, they had to move off him. It was a red flag. I want to say,
kind of weird. Still blows me away. I think he had he was 30 wins in after 45 games or something like that.
They had a good record, but it was pretty clear from the product on the court that they weren't a great team at the time.
Right. Just a cohesive team. They were a great team. They had great players that could just win basketball games, but it wasn't necessarily because of Adrian Griffin.
Very good description.
I mean, and also, there was a red flag about a month in before the season even started. They fired Terry Stotts, who was brought in, former Bucks coach, part of the archetype with, I believe, Golden State's offense for a little bit, was a head coach with Portland too. So, he's a guy who is a well-respected coach.
Did they get rid of him because Adrian Griffin didn't?
Basically, my understanding is that him and Adrian Griffin had some sort of tiff in practice, and basically, I think Terry Stotts was told he was brought in to run the offense, and then Adrian Griffin started getting his hands into that.
And then they unload him. Now you unload.
Well, no, Terry Stotts walked away.
Walked.
Yeah.
So he's gone. And then you unload Adrian Griffin. I'm sure you'd be like, man, I wonder if Doc and Stotts could have worked together.
Yeah, or you could have just hired Stotts. Terry Stotts was not, he won a lot of games in Portland. He coached Dame in Portland. Terry Stotts would have been a better hire. But then, yes, then you stumble into Doc. But my understanding is that Giannis preferred Doc. You could have had, I believe, Kenny Atkinson in that window. Yeah. So Giannis has been given a lot of power. And to me, that could be the original sin of where the Bucks are where they're at.
Right.
And there's a balance you have to walk here, Matt, of you want to give you want to keep your star player happy. And the Packers probably are on the extreme other side of it of they upset Aaron Rodgers. They didn't
upset Matt LaFleur. Get rid of his guys.
They don't make him.
It's not tight.
You can't. Tight. I guess they kind of threw Rodgers a bone a little bit with Randall Cobb, but they didn't throw him enough bones where he was happy. Same with LaFleur. We'll see. LaFleur could also, his contract's coming up. Maybe he just says, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else. I get hired immediately. We don't know how that's going to play out. Everyone talks about the Packers with Ed Policy and what's going to happen with Goody and LaFleur. What if LaFleur's like, hey, Goody, I'm sick and tired of having no influence. I'm going to go somewhere else. They're going to either make me GM and coach, or they're going to make sure that I have say.
Yeah, the fact that after my 7th year with the team, I finally got my first-round wide receiver.
Right. So
I've never seen Matt LaFleur smile so big than when they drafted Matt Golden.
Right. So to that point, though, back to the Bucs, like the Bucs maybe have gone the other way too far, where it's like, hey, you can't get, the Rolling Stone says you can't always get what you want.
Yeah.
You can't get everything, Giannis. Like you got to trust the basketball people to do some work here.
Right. And, I get bring it, like Rodgers had Cobb, right? You can get a player, but I just wonder, what sort of pressure if any, did Giannis apply to the team?
Pressure.
And when he'd never admit to it, I'm sure, but I don't think he would threaten, hey, I don't want to be here unless I get the 21 team back, right? But if he says that and you're the GM, it's a tough call because then if you don't do what he says, you run out his contract or he demands to be traded and he's gone anyway.
It shouldn't, and I get what you're saying, and this is where it gets difficult. It shouldn't have ever, if that was the point, it should never gotten to that point. It never should feel like a player should be able to draw a line in the sand ultimatum of not get the players I want. Giannis saying right now, get me players that I think that I believe in that we can win with. That's one thing. Get me specific players. Go ask Cleveland how that went the first time around with LeBron James.
Yeah.
When you get Antoine Jameson and Shaquille O'Neal and he picks out these players, and he ran a coach out as well. I believe he ran out Paul Silas. He didn't like some of the coaches there. So when he had his fingerprints on it, at least earlier in his career, it didn't work out well.
I mean, look at the LeBron experiment in L.A. Sure, they got Anthony Davis. They won in the bubble, but then I feel like they missed the playoffs or were in play-in games for a couple years after that. They were not the dominant team that
I think the very next year they played the play-in game against the Warriors.
Yes, and you could not have, and I'm not, again, the bubble title counts, but the Lakers who were old and you have off-injured Anthony Davis, the COVID break worked great for them because all of a sudden they were healthy.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not discounting the title, but the Anthony Davis move, I think you're right. There are moves the Lakers have also said no to. And so I get it if Giannis is you know what, I really like, I like Colin Sexton from Utah. And the Bucks could say, yeah, we do too. Let's go get him.
Right.
But if he says, I like Colin Sexton, and John Horst no, I'd rather have DeMar DeRozan, Giannis better say, okay.
Yeah,
DeMar DeRozan
that could work too.
Is better than Chris Middleton, so that's an upgrade.
Yeah.
So that's where I think you can try to figure out a way for these two to work together. Evan Cohen is going to be coming up in a second, but before we get to his audio, let me tell you about Carbon World Health. You can upgrade your life and your lifestyle with Carbon World Health. You can talk to Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, ask him about hormone optimization. You can ask him about GLP-1s. You can ask him about working out, cryotherapy, red light therapy. It's all there at Carbon World Health, and you can get to be the best version of yourself over at Carbon World Health. So Evan Cohen's coming up next, but we do have some audio from him that we're going to talk with him about. We're going to play that now, and then we'll get to Evan.
In my opinion, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, after that night last night, you should be on the phone with John Horst, the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks this morning. And you should be calling him and you should say, John, I know you're not interested yet at this point in trading Giannis. Be respectful. But if that moment comes up, we'd like to be a part of the conversation. Oh, yeah? Why? Well, here's why. So we have your pick next year if we want it, which means if we give it back to you and you want to have this bad gap year and you want to tank without Giannis, you will have a chance of getting A.J. DeBanza, who maybe could be your Giannis replacement. But wait, there's more. We also have the number one pick in the draft from last year in Zachary Risache, who, as CC just mentioned, really shown flashes. Oh, and by the way, we have this guy that we drafted towards the end of the first round from Duke, who we have a contract extension already in place for at $30 million a year by the name of Jalen Johnson, a forward. And he's from your state in Wisconsin. And we have a bunch of future picks. And so we're going to give you all of these opportunities, these young players and draft picks to replace this generational, once-in-a-lifetime player in
That was Evan Cohen.
That was some warped audio there. Sorry, we missed Giannis. I don't. Oh, hold on. I think I actually unearthed the audio.
Giannis, that's Campo.
There we go.
There we go.
Player at the end.
All right. Generational talent.
Yeah, obviously.
That's Matt Hamilton. Evan Cohen up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It's like dogs. Like you get like the snickerdoodle or all these. Like you're trying to build a
Snickerdoodle?
Is that a real dog?
No, it's like a golden doodle.
Golden
It's a cookie.
doodle. Golden doodle.
Like a
Sorry.
snickerdoodle. Half poodle, half Snickers bar.
I'm sure. Golden doodle. I don't know. This breeding dogs thing is dumb.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bars of the Month. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 and $3 Miller High Lifes. Plus, to celebrate our love for dive bars, we'll be giving away a case of Miller High Life to one lucky fan every Thursday. Live the high life with Jim, Matt, and Molly and enjoy the champagne of beer in its natural environment. Like Tootsie's Bar and Grill, Club the Mark, Players Bar, Sundown Saloon, and Riley's Tavern.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open is also brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Starion Bank, Celebrations Entertainment, The Bogey Factory, Bruner Realty, and Hush Blackwell.
We're on the Brewers.
Jacob Mizorowski gives shades of Randy Johnson. He has the stuff to challenge Pirates phenom Paul Skeens as the most dominant pitcher in the National League.
Nobody covers the crew like 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
With the 13th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft,
If you're the Atlanta Hawks, after that night last night, you should be on the phone with John Hortis, the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks, this morning. And the Milwaukee Bucks now have another option. If Giannis ever comes to them, which I don't think he will, but if he does, says, I'm interested, I think Atlanta has to be on the board now.
He doesn't need a pat on the back. He's not you.
Well,
who's a good co-host?
Evan co-host. Wow. Evan Cohen, who co-hosts Unsportsmanlike right here on ESPN Radio.
From Madison to the Big Apple, it's time for Evan Cohen on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
That's his theme music. We are thrilled to be joined by Evan Cohen. You can hear him weekday mornings here on ESPN Madison. You can see him on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, along with Matt Hamilton singing along. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly, as she's helped setting up the Made 'em Believe event over at the Orpheum. Primetime War Shine Behind the Glass. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. And Evan, actually, to that point, obviously Made 'em Believe tonight with Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan up there as well. You still can get tickets, uwhoops2015.com. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. And the NBA draft, round 2 is tonight. John Tonje is a guy that played for the Badgers. He will hopefully get drafted today. Where do you think John Tonje fits in the rotation off of that Badger basketball team?
Well, probably not above Frank, right?
Yep,
I mean, you were talking about player of the year. Probably not above Sam Decker, right?
Yep,
I mean, because Sam Decker was a first-round pick.
Yep.
So what do you want to say? Is if he would have been, well, Nigel Hayes was unbelievable. I know he's not there tonight because he's still playing overseas, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. So what do you want to say? Third or fourth best player? I'm not going to sit here and say that I've seen every game that Tonje's played, but
right. Yeah.
Here's what I don't hope. I mean, let's be honest. We've had some players recently who were supposed to be really good, who have not been very good.
Yeah.
So let's hope he's a guy that maybe slips in the second round, not expecting much, that becomes a lot, right? Let's hope he goes opposite some of the other guys.
And I would slot him in probably into the Trayvon Jackson spot. He probably takes his spot in the rotation. A little bigger, similar kind of player, bully ball, better shooter. So maybe they get the title if they had John Tonje.
By the way, this event, I've heard a lot about the event tonight. I think it's awesome what's happening. Orpheum is obviously an amazing place in Madison, right on State Street. I have no idea if there are tickets still available. If there are, and you're a basketball fan, to go up there and buy it. I mean, not even if you're a basketball fan. If you're a Madison sports fan in general, this is like an all-time great team that clearly got better when Ben Bruss left. I mean, that's the reality.
That's why he is leading the panel and not on the panel. UWHoops2015.com.
All right, do that, Jim. Sorry, do that. I don't want to.
Tickets are available. You go to UWHoops2015.com to get last-minute tickets for the event tonight at the Orpheum.
Do we give Ben credit for this? Because, like Matt, for example, let's say you walk away from curling, okay?
Okay.
And then the next year, your team, because I know you've been with the same crew for a while, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If that crew gets significantly better and, like, wins more than they've ever won, 10 years from that date, would you host an event on their behalf, or would you want the event to be ruined?
I mean, I wouldn't want it to be ruined, but I don't think I'm hosting the event and putting it together.
So we give Ben credit.
Super hypothetical, though, because this team would not get better if I was gone.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. So then we do have to give Ben some credit for hosting this event, knowing these guys all had the best years of their life because I left.
I mean, that's humility right there.
Yes.
Humbled Ben is what we call him here at ESPN Madison.
Barry Alvarez's thoughts on Ben Brust.
Yeah. Evan, so not everybody is an NBA guy like you and me. So you know, they know the ins and outs of the contracts, like declining contracts and player options and all those fun things. Like not everyone's as well versed.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So I'm asking you, if you're the Bucks, you've got two paths forward right now. You can build a team around Giannis, or you can trade Giannis and try and build a team with the assets. What's your move forward? Or could you maybe dive into both routes and what the moves are?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say the move is, all right, Barry Horowitz, wrestling fan. So here's what I would tell you. Obviously, you played that clip for a reason. even though I said what I said this morning, I still think the better path is just keeping Giannis and figuring out ways of building around him. I don't think there's any question about that. The reason I said what I said off of the draft last night is because I think a team that we have never mentioned as a hypothetical Giannis destination emerged last night. And we haven't heard any rumors about this. I said this, and I got a text from somebody close to the Bucks today. Not somebody who works for the Bucks, but somebody close to the Bucks who said, like, not happening. But I said, what part of it is not happening? And he said, you said it, the first part. He's not going and asking out. I said, I understand that. But if you're just thinking about it logically. So if I were to say to you before the draft, if Giannis were to ask out, what team, obviously every team's calling, what teams would the Bucks answer their calls? Let's just go through this here as an exercise, the three of us. So I think they would answer the calls of the Spurs. They have tons of young players and tons of draft picks. Okay? They would answer the call of the Rockets, tons of young players, tons of draft picks. There's been an assumption that they would have to answer the call for the Knicks because of the fact that the Knicks may be a destination he'd want to go to. And the Nets, not because they have anything that would attract Giannis outside of being in Brooklyn, but because of the immense amount of cap space and draft picks, etc. Is there any team before last night that would have been on that list that I am missing?
I mean, I would have said.
I mean, I've only one I've ever heard floated before, but it's similar to the Knicks. Is that if he Golden State, like, could he figure out a way to force himself there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, that could. There's ways.
Yeah.
Because you would have to trade Jimmy Butler, which I think they're going to be okay with if they can get Giannis, right?
Yep.
So okay, never once did we mention the Atlanta Hawks, right? And the Atlanta Hawks should never be mentioned in Madison, Wisconsin, doing sports talk. Yep. Unless it revolves around Giannis. And so the point, Matt, that I'm making, because I know Jim felt the same way, because Jim and I were texting about this earlier today, like, that team emerged last night as if the nightmare happens where he says, I want to go. At least you have another team now that I could make the argument makes sense for you if you're the Bucks. You still want to keep him. The better path, to answer your question, very long-winded, I know, but the better path is just having him on your team. That's the better path, always.
But how do you build around him with what you currently have? We've got, 5 players we decided under contract right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way to build around him is my methodology for this is not necessarily in line with many other people's, but it's to be harsh and cold, and that is to trade Dame Lillard, which is very harsh and very cold, and he doesn't deserve that, but that's business, that's life. He will understand that. Now, in order to trade him, as wild as this sounds, because he's going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, you may have to say your one remaining tradable first, which I believe is in 2031, you may have to say to a team, we're going to give you this first-rounder to take him, or convince a team, these 3 players that are kind of bleh on your team, that are just whatever, add up to Dame, and if you get Dame and you sit on Dame for a year and you rehab him, you could probably get a first-rounder for him in a year that you can't get for these other 3 guys, right? I don't want to go too deep on this, but like I've done the hypothetical trades with Utah and all these, whatever. So that's part one. Part two is then saying, okay, Kuzma plus Connaughton, and this again, harsh and cold. Connaughton is a state of Wisconsin icon in many ways. People love him, right? Same with Bobby Portis. It's saying, okay, that's like about, I think, $31 million, the two of them combined. Who can you find? But there's a catch. That's on a bad contract at $30 million for more years than you want to have that person, but that next to Giannis could be better than those 2 guys in 2025. Matt, that's not easy what I just did. And there's not going to be options that Bucks fans who listen to games on ESPN Madison are going to be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's only going to be if it works out that they're going to think it's amazing. It's not upon arrival that they're going to think it's amazing.
Right. The name we floated was Bradley Beal.
Well, we didn't float it. That was, I think, Bobby Marks. ESPN
we mentioned it on our show. So our listeners thought we floated it.
I brought it. Who did I bring that up to? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can say that. I brought it up to somebody yesterday, and they said, why would Bradley Beal accept a trade, waive the no-trade clause to go to the Bucks? And in my head, I'm like, well, maybe somehow, some way, Giannis can convince him, whatever it may be. That would be a great trade for the Phoenix Suns. It would really make a lot of sense for both teams right now. It really would.
But you kind of hit on the one thing I have roster building wise is that also like who is coming here like free agent wise, or even if Bradley Beal has a choice, without the guarantee that Giannis is in on this. Because the vibes that I get, whether it's here in Shamstock or Windy or you or anyone, is more of Giannis wants to see what Horst puts together. Like, go ahead and show me your plan, because we keep on hearing, and we had the audio from Bobby Marks earlier from Get Up where he said that this is the most important month in Bucks history because they have to show Giannis the plan that he believes in. So if I'm one of these players, I'm saying, well, why am I waiving a no-trade clause? Why am I signing a contract here if there's no guarantee Giannis is going to be here in 6 months? So that's the other part of this that feels hard.
Jim, what you just did, that's a good point. What you just did, the comp I would make is LeBron in Cleveland the first time, where it's like he kept, like, I don't know if we're going to be here next year, 1-year deals, or even the second time. He's the only team he's really signed long term with was the Lakers. Yeah. Honestly, as weird as that sounds, but I think in essence what you're telling me is that you believe, regardless of how long Giannis's contract is, he is now for the rest of his career on a series of 1-year deals with the Bucks. Because and that's a problem, because then, as you just said, maybe that guy, there's no real free agency as much as trades in the NBA, but a guy that may have a say may say, well, I don't know what I'm looking at post Giannis, and thus I can't be excited to go there. If Giannis were to come out and say, I'm a Buck for life, I will never ask out, stop with this, that changes the narrative. But again, I hate to do this because I like Giannis and I like the Bucks organization. He's not going to do that. There's no reason for him to do that.
It also,
I show your cards in poker.
It feels to me that one of the things that works in the favor, because if Giannis looks around and where do I go? Well, West is really hard to win. Your Atlanta idea is interesting because if he goes to Atlanta and you're still in the East, then maybe you have a chance to win. You still have a roster there. But with the Bucks, the one thing that works in their favor, weirdly, because it started with the Achilles injury to Dame, but Tatum and Halliburton going down, Giannis goes, well, the roster doesn't have to be that great for me to be an Eastern Conference Finals contender. So it almost works, those injuries, those Achilles injuries almost work in his favor, or the Bucks' favor.
Right. So, Jim, you're saying in years past, it is the job of John Horst, the general manager, to put together an A-plus roster. And now what you're saying is the job is to put together a B roster because that may be all you need?
Well, I think that's all you can do. Like, Jobs put together an A+. I think if you put together a B with Giannis might look at it and say, you know what? I will buy your gap year, and let's see what happens. Because there are holes in the East, and the Knicks fired their coach. To me, that matters. Philadelphia is always injured. So Giannis could say, like, hey, put me together a roster that is not built long-term, but it can be a short-term fix, and then we can kind of use some capital or use some things in the future that I believe your plan. So part of the plan Horst could build out is saying, hey, I got some guys who are older, but we can try to piece together a year here and then try to reset on the fly. That's one way I think Horst could do it.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that they're currently on the clock till mid-July, because then you get – this is where it's really scary for them. Then it's like you get stuck. I remember at the end of LeBron in Miami, they made moves thinking that they were making moves to surround him. Mm-hmm. When he's not there and those guys are there, they ain't very good if he's not there. Right? So now, if you're the Bucks, are you making moves to surround Giannis? Or are you going to say to Giannis, we're not going to do anything until you give us an answer? And then you're coming off like, hey, it's contentious. I think we have made this more contentious than it actually is with Giannis, but you may be right. I think the biggest theme that I would take from this is it's almost Favre and Rodgers-like. If you're a Bucks fan, you now have to assume you're on a 1-year deal every single year, regardless of what the contract says.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And Evan, to that point, we were kind of, if this wasn't an actual, like a poll question, but people chime in 844-770-3776, Carl was talking text line. The Packers, with roster building around Aaron Rodgers, kind of told Aaron most of the time, like, hey, we'll throw you a bone with Randall Cobb, but otherwise, like, you're not going to get any real say in the players that we add. The Bucks seem to have gone the other way. We're giving Giannis some control. Hey, you want Middleton back? You want Doc as your coach? Griffin. You don't want to. You want Adrian Griffin now. You don't like. They gave him more power. They're almost two extremes. I don't know which one do you think handled the whole thing better.
Well, okay. So can we go back to I'm not ignoring that. I now want to think about something. I want to go back to, and it ties in to what Matt asked initially. Because what we just did may have been the exercise as to why you may consider preemptively striking. I would not, but the exercise that we just played out, how difficult it is to get guys on this team, the uncertainty around them, et cetera, that the Hawks won, the Spurs won, the Rockets won, they will get a haul for Giannis like no team has ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask Matt's question back to you guys. There's two paths. There's continue all in with Giannis, which I would choose, or preemptively strike knowing what we just said. Series of one-year deals. He's going to wait to see what happens. You don't know if you could trade Dame, etc. Which one would you guys choose?
Well, unfortunately for me, I think the best path forward for the Bucks is preemptively striking and moving on from Giannis, but I don't want to do that. I like Giannis. I want him around. I realize that you wait a year or you wait till 6 months until the trade deadline, like injuries can happen, like his value could go down. Obviously next year, 1 year on a contract as opposed to the two, there's benefits to other teams like holding on to their cards and waiting for Giannis to become more available. His price is not getting any higher. So like I understand the theory of getting like preemptively striking. This is like strike when the iron's hot. This is Aaron Rodgers after his second MVP. The Packers let that relationship go a little too long. Like, and again, I liked Rodgers, so like I should learn from my mistakes and say sometimes you just have to move on from your superstar player. But as a fan and just as a guy who enjoys having a player that like, you know, you can get his jersey and you know he's going to be there the next year, like. That's the kind of guy Giannis has been, and I don't want to move on from that. So I haven't like learned from my mistake at all yet.
I understand that.
Yeah, I would trade him. I think Bucks fans and Wisconsin fans in general get a little bit too concerned about like nobody ever wants to be here. You know what? Denver's not a major market. They won with Jokic. Shea just won in Oklahoma City. That is not a major market. Tyrese Halliburton is not a superstar in that team. I mean, he's a great player, but that team got to the finals. I think the NBA is designing the league to be that you don't need Giannis specifically to go win a title. They want one star per team. So if you believe that your GM, and this is a different story, if you believe in your GM, John Horst, then you get a massive haul in return, and you try to do what Oklahoma City did, where they had 2 terrible years, and then they started climbing back up. So if you believe you have a great GM, then you trade Giannis, and then you start the whole thing over, and it'll hurt. But Oklahoma City was like Milwaukee. You can't lose there. Nobody will go to the games if you're a loser. And they knew that. They had 2 bad seasons, and they built it back up. And if Milwaukee has a front office you believe in, then you trade Giannis and you build it back up.
That's the problem. There's no guarantee with the picks and everything you get back for Giannis that you can make that a championship caliber team.
So if I said to you right now, and this works, I just did this as we were talking. If I said to you right now, you could trade Giannis. Let's use the Atlanta example that I brought up on Unsportsmanlike this morning, 5 to 9 here at ESPN Madison. Giannis to Atlanta for Wisconsin native Jalen Johnson and last year's #1 overall pick in the draft, Zachary Risachet, and at least 3 first-rounders. Let's say 4 first-rounders. I think they can do 4, and then pick swaps up the wazoo. Would you do it?
Matt, do you want me to just for people who listening who might not know Jalen Johnson as a player, just in case?
Yeah, for the other people.
For the others out there. Jalen Johnson's is 16 points a game 2 years ago, 19 points a game, and 10 rebounds. He's basically been a double-double guy for the last 2 years. He's a ascending player. He's still very young. The Wisconsin part does matter if you're trying to fill seats. He's still only 23 years old. He's actually from Molly's neck of the wood of Wausau, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then Risachet is the ascending young player. I mean, he is very much a project, but still 12 points, 4 rebounds, and assists. Like, he's not going to be
They're both forwards. You have your starting forwards for the next 5 to 10 years. And by the way, Jalen Johnson is literally on a contract that pays him $30 million in 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, which in today's day and age for that level of productivity at that age is insanely low.
It is. Evan, what was the name? Because you shared it in the clip, but the player going to the kid going to BYU, because if the Bucks make this trade, they have to do it before the season starts.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's viewed as a premier prospect. The Bucks have to make this trade before the season starts because you don't want to win any games with Giannis. You want to be bad right away.
Right.
But if you get your pick back, you also get that lottery ticket and lottery ball towards that player.
Right. Let's talk about that. That's the other thing. So when Matt, you say specifically, I know it's the wrong. I think it's the wrong decision, but I would make the wrong decision keeping Giannis because of everything we laid out. And then you follow that up by saying, I like the idea that I have somebody whose jersey I could buy. I like the idea that I have a face of the franchise. Like that, and you're not wrong. Like, the beauty of Matt Hamilton is, even though he's an Olympian, he is the average everyday fan that's listening to ESPN Madison right now, way more than Jim and I are. Like, we're way too inside, right? Mm-hmm. That is a great thing. But let me add to it. So if you were to make this hypothetical deal to get your pick back in what we're making up, again, all hypothetical, it is 99% not going to happen. But this is all the stuff we play out. You then would go into the season trying to be as bad as you possibly could be. Because now there's a payoff, right? There's no reason. If you trade Giannis somewhere else and you don't get your pick, you still have to try to be good. Because there's no payoff to be bad.
That's true. I mean, the bonus side of it, if we trade Giannis, I'm sure Adam Silver will get involved and we'll get the first overall pick just the same way that
boy.
the Mavs got. What do you mean, oh boy? That's real.
Matt, it is the most
the frozen
insane.
envelope.
There's no envelopes. It's an accounting firm. It's a third-party accounting firm. We've had this discussion.
Yeah, and accounting firms have never been corrupted before.
Yeah, with media members. I shared the podcast with Zach Lowe that he talked about being in there.
Can I still say I don't believe Zach Lowe? I'm going to stick to my conspiracy theory.
Jim and I are just not going to be associated with that.
I'm just saying, it's off the theory with a 1.8% chance to win the lottery. You get rid of your superstar and you got it.
Here's what I'll tell you. If the Bucks trade Giannis and they trade him to the Hawks and they get next year's pick back and they win the lottery, the NBA's in trouble.
Yes. But Evan, you have to understand that. So, Evan, you have to understand that Matt's view of certain things leans closer to Tyler Hero's not believing anything before 1950s theory than we want it to be. So we do have to kind of
try to ignore that part of Tyler Hero. I got to be honest. I love Tyler Hero. That part wasn't good.
Hey, if you don't have to think, you're probably a heck of a basketball player. You know, if the mind's clear, you can just go out there and play basketball. Evan, thanks so much for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. That was Evan Cohen. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team for the third year in a row. Vote every day this month at MadisonMagazine.com. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at StarionBank.com. Member FDIC. Part of Badger greatness. Frank Kaminsky, one of the newest UW Athletics Hall of Fame inductees. An emotional feeling symbolizing much more than basketball. Audio courtesy, UW Athletics.
It means that the kid who showed up with one offer and no idea what was coming did something right. It means the sacrifices paid off. It means the effort was seen, not just the stats or highlights, but the work, growth, commitment to something bigger than yourself. You represented something real.
Celebrate the historic 2015 run that Kaminsky and his teammates went on at Made 'em Believe tonight at the Orpheum Theater. Tickets available at uwhoops2015.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Celebrate the red, white, and blue at the Bridges. On Sunday, June 29th, play a 2-person scramble for just $120 per person, including 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and dinner. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Madison present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
I am joined by a special guest, Dr. Joe Gothard, Superintendent of the Madison Metropolitan School District. Sport has always been your platform. You've used that. You were a coach at Madison La Follett's. Your path has taken you so far. How do you still view yourself as a coach in your role today?
I think as far back as I can remember, some of my earliest memories of community and coming together and being part of something, bigger than perhaps myself or family, are the teams that I played on as a kid. I step into many gymnasiums today and I tell the students I used to play here. But it's just always meant a lot to me. And I think it's something I want to give back.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube and on Facebook for more with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
The sound of summer is on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
At the track, at the wall, jumped up. Jackson Chario brought it back.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam.
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. The Brewers got their big win in yesterday's matchup of pitching phenoms versus the Pirates. The Miz, Jacob Misiorowski, delivering in his duel against Paul Skeens as the Brewers won 4-2. The Miz now giving up just 3 hits over his first 16 innings pitched in 3 career starts. Brewers now have the day off before they take on the Colorado Rockies visiting AmFam Field. New 3-game homestand starts tomorrow night. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN. Brewers still 9 games over 500, but 2.5 games behind the Cubs, who beat the Cardinals earlier this afternoon. Head over to ESPN.com if you want to keep track of that. NL Central standings all season long. Also, while you're there, read more from the mock drafts from Jonathan Gavoni and Jeremy Wu. Talking about round 2 of the NBA draft. A pair of former Badgers have a chance to hear their names called tonight. That includes breakout star John Tonje from last season, as well as former point guard Chucky Hepburn, who finished his career at Louisville last year. Also, Marquette's Cam Jones in the mix to hear his name ring out a Hoya later tonight. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on 100.5
Metro
ESPN.
Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special. Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me. I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
All right, guys, this is it. Home stretch. 2 weeks left for Best of Madison voting. We are so Madison.
They even got streets named after us.
Love, Goff, and Darnold are unique names. Williams is a very generic name.
Almost as generic as Brown. I totally understand.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's
possible. You're the best.
I mean, Jim and Molly, best of Madison!
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. Molly Brown out at Made 'em Believe. You can still get tickets, uwhoops2015.com if you want to go see Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan, all emceed by Ben Bruss. You can see it at the Orpheum tonight. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I do have the power. Josh and Sun Prairie apparently with the Matt Hamilton insane conspiracy theory. Yes, just a coincidence that the last 3 teams to trade their All-NBA player were able to get the top pick in the lottery. Jim, are you this much of a company man? One, we work for Good Karma Brands, which does own and operate more ESPN radio stations than ESPN, and we are a proud, pretty in-deep partner with ESPN. But Zach Lowe does not work for ESPN. So if you were interested in this, Josh, Zach Lowe does not work for ESPN. He was invited to the NBA lottery. You can find it on his podcast, which is part of the Ringer Network. So the last place that the ESPN would want to be giving any sort of scoopage to would be a network run by Bill Simmons. But Zach Lowe is on that. He goes to the draft lottery. There's no envelope. It is run by a third-party accounting firm. And, oh, by the way, you have to listen to it, but it is a combination of numbers. It's not even a team pops up
on the screen, right?
Yeah, no, it is a combination, I think, of 4 different balls, and the numbers have to fit perfectly. And one last little bit of note, it's not how we see it on TV in reverse order. The first numbers that come up are the number 1 pick. So immediately everyone knew that Dallas had a number 1 pick. So
your point is a valid one, Jim.
I don't know about that, Matt LePay.
But if you believe all that, but if you believe in all that, then Josh, you must firmly be in the camp that the Bucks have to trade Giannis, because then you're just going to end up with number 1 overall pick.
Right. I mean, to that note, we would have another Superstars jersey to get that we could keep for a while.
And I get where you're coming from. Our Siding Unlimited poll question, thanks to Bobby Marks, and let's play the audio from Bobby Marks, and then basically he asked the question for us. So let's hear Bobby Marks from Get Up. Bobby Marks had worked in the NBA for a while. Now he works for ESPN.
For the next month, I'm doing everything possible to add around Giannis, and that's why I think the next month is the most important in franchise history for Milwaukee as far as what they do. The one name Tom didn't mention was Damian Lillard. He's going to be out for a significant time, and Gary Trent Jr. is also a free agent. I think that the problem, if you're not exploring Giannis deals now and you wait until next year, now he's going to be on an expiring contract. He's a year older. The value starts to come down a little bit here. They could basically wipe the slate clean. I understand where John Horster, general manager, is coming. When you have a top 3 player on your roster, you're doing everything possible to add pieces. But I keep on coming back to dead ends. What are the options going to be? Who in free agency? The non-tax. They have so many free agents that we might get to December and Giannis might say, wait a minute, we can't compete in the Eastern Conference. Now I want out. And now the options maybe get a little bit diminished.
So our question is, Bobby Marks says the next month is the most important in Bucks franchise history. Do you agree? 57% of you say no. Matt, tell us about how much you love Odyssey.
Oh, you cannot go wrong with Odyssey brands, and they've got a ton to offer between the feta cheese, the Greek yogurt dips, which include a tzatziki dip, which, let's be real, no one really wants to make that. So if you can just get it, fantastic. They've got labna, and if you've never had labna, it's like a thicker Greek yogurt, super tangy, a lot of good flavor. Sour cream, you cannot go wrong. My favorite right now is the feta cheese. They've got a delicious new smoked feta. And the best part about Odyssey Brands is they're made right here in Wisconsin, down in Monroe at Klondike Cheese Factory. They're award-winning. They're 4 generations family-owned. It's made with locally sourced milk. So if you're a Wisconsin stan like I am, what are you waiting for? Go to the grocery store, find some delicious Odyssey feta cheese because Odyssey has dairy done right. Go check out Odyssey and get some of that feta.
Let's hear from Shams this morning on Get Up as well, talking about Giannis's evaluation process, which would match up with what Bobby Marks has said as well.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has been in Milwaukee for 12 years, and so I reported during draft, combine, and lottery week that he was open-minded about seeing are there best possible fits outside of Milwaukee, and that is a due diligence process that he has undertaken. But again, he's been there for 12 years, so there's a level of equity in seeing what can the Bucks do at the draft, what can they do during free agency, how can they improve the team. And so he's going to remain open-minded. I don't think his future is necessarily tied to this week, to free agency week. It's going to be a process where you see how this team looks into July, well into July potentially, and then ultimately he will see how the Bucks look, how the chess pieces look across the league, and ultimately have some form of a resolution.
So, to me, again, if we want to split hairs on this is an actual report from Shams or if he's giving an informed opinion, to me this is more of an informed opinion. I will die on the hill of Shams or any of these reporters, Schefter and all. They're not making things up.
Right.
You don't get to where you're at as a reporter by making things up, and you wouldn't get all the way to the peak of your game to then cheat. You know, it'd be like, you know, you won the Olympics and then your next match, not the Olympics, you decided to cheat. Like, why would you bother? Like, you got to ESPN, you don't have to cheat now. You got to pay. It's guaranteed. You know, like you're set now. And so, just want to throw that part out there. So I think Shams is more of the issue that I think some of these guys run into is that he's given an informed opinion, but he has to kind of call it a report. I do think it's fair to say, kind of what Bobby Marks said, Giannis is, I guess maybe right now from Missouri, the show me state. Like, show me what you're going to do. And if I like it, I will stay. So hopefully we'll never find out the latter. If he doesn't like the plan, who knows? Josh in Sun Prairie says 100% they have to trade Giannis. You have to be a meatball not to trade them. The haul will never be better.
I mean, that's been my stance from the beginning of the show and since this whole Giannis conversation has happened. Like, I want to keep him. Like, my gut and my heart says keep Giannis as long as possible. Do whatever you can around him to keep him happy and let him retire a Buck if that's what he wants to do. My brain says the best move for the Bucks, assuming Horst doesn't muck up the picks, is you trade Giannis, get a king's ransom for him, and then try and rebuild from there with some young players. It's kind of like it's new. It's a new phrase. It's the OKC way. Go ahead, take your lumps for a season or two, but acquire these draft picks and young players and hope it works out. Like, that's the big problem for me, though, is if you don't trust that John Horst can do it, this is definitely not the play. If you don't think he is a good enough GM to take these picks and turn them into a championship caliber team, you got to keep Giannis. But if you believe in John Horst and you believe that he can turn this team around with the right acquisitions for Giannis, you gotta move on from him. So that's why I'm so split. My heart doesn't want to get rid of him, but I know the best move for the Bucks, at least in the near future, is moving on and getting some capital for him.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Month. Listen to me, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 and $3 Miller High Life. Plus, you can celebrate our love for dive bars. We are giving away a case of Miller High Life to one lucky fan every Thursday. Live the high life with Jim, Matt, and Molly and enjoy the champagne of beers in its natural environment like Tootsie's Bar and Grill, Club Lamarck, Players Bar, Sundown Saloon, and Riley Tavern. Caller number...
I say 17 because we're the 17th pick in the draft tonight.
Come on, Matt.
In the second round.
At first, you're doing 47, so I'll take 17 over 47.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Fine. Caller number 17.
Caller number 17 gets a case of High Life. 844-770-3776. Caller number 17 gets a case of High Life. 844-770-3776. Caller number 17, case of High Life. 844-770-3776. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman, We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has zero sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
Hey, this is Gene Cho, Bucky from 03 to 05. Most memorable moment? Definitely getting arrested at a football game for crowd surfing as Bucky. Oof, maybe not the best shining moment for Bucky.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
This fall, there's only one place to be, Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin football returns with can't-miss matchups, including Maryland, Iowa, Washington, and more. From the first touchdown to jump around and the celebration of the fifth quarter. Experience the traditions and unforgettable memories that make Wisconsin football so special. Single-game tickets are now on sale. Lock in your spot today by visiting uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Wisconsin football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. ESPN Madison Open also brought to you by Badgerland Exteriors, Annex Wealth Management, Sunday Paper, Incredible Bank, Vorikov Osman LLC, and Retirement Income Strategies.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
The High Life Dive Bar giveaway is brought to you by Miller High Life. Celebrate local dives with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life.
Congratulations to Noah in Madison, caller number 17. He's in the High Life. It's a case of High Life. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Be sure to come get it, because it's mine if you don't.
Matt does not actually mean that when he says that. He doesn't want you to come get it. But no, come get it. That's why we're able to continue to give it away. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Primetime Wollersheim. We are presented by Coors Light. We were talking some Milwaukee Bucks, and you can chime in on our Siding Unlimited poll question. And you can chime in on the Carbos Talk text on 844-770-3776. ESPN's Bobby Marks said that The next month is the most important month for the Milwaukee Bucks. Do you agree? 59% of you say no. I'm going to say you're all wrong unless you're voting no because you want to say winning the title month was more important. Because if you're saying no because, Giannis isn't going anywhere, I got some magic beans to sell you. Because I think what Giannis, and again, I'm not saying he's going anywhere, but I think what Shams, let's hear from Shams one more time because I want to hear, because I think, honestly, we don't have to play the whole thing. Let's just play, Shams from Get Up This Morning.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has been in Milwaukee for 12 years, and so I reported during draft, combine, and lottery week that he was open-minded.
So basically, what Shams is saying is like Giannis has been there for 12 years. Giannis wants to stay with the Bucks. Giannis wants the Bucks to put together a plan that makes him believe that they have a puncher's chance to do something. Giannis is a competitor. You don't have to build some super team. You just have to build a team where Giannis can either lie to himself or talk himself into being able to make this team competitive. And I'm not even, like, some people say, let Giannis be the star of the team and he can put up his numbers. I don't think his numbers matter. I think Giannis wants to see a team where he believes.
What more numbers do you need? He puts up, I think he averaged 30 points a game last year.
He's not LeBron trying to chase down the all-time scoring title, which LeBron was doing later in his career. Obviously still playing ball, but that was important to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard Giannis mention a single stat that he cares about pursuing.
Other than championships.
Yeah. And so I think all the Bucks have to do, and it's not easy, but the Bucks will keep Giannis as long as they build a team that he believes, with him on it, could at least shock the world and get to the Eastern Conference Finals or be good next year and then going forward. This morning, I looked outside my house window this morning. My wife was coming back from the gym, and she was a little bit late, so I kind of just, sometimes if someone's running late, you kind of peek out the front window. So I just peeked out the front window. I'm like, I wonder when she's going to get here. And I peek out, and I see a sign in her yard. I'm like, what in the hell is that? And it's a sign for a garage sale that's up the street. So we live basically at the bottom of a cul-de-sac. And so we have the side yard that goes up. We have a fire hydrant and right on that side yard there. And it's not on there's a sidewalk that separates a lot of yards. Like in neighborhoods, you have the sidewalk, but the yard that's closest, the grass that's closest to the street is still our grass, is still our yard.
You've got to maintain it.
Yeah, I have to maintain it. I could plant a tree and I could do what I want there. Like, it's still my yard. And so in that space, there is a sign that says garage sale up the street.
123 cul-de-sac road, right?
Yeah. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, just ask. Like, we would say, nobody's going to say no. We've never interacted with these people because they're up the cul-de-sac 2 or 3 houses. So we do know the principal of the school is up there. There's someone else that actually advertises on our Beaver Dam station that lives up the cul-de-sac as well. So, like, we've talked in passing to some of the people up there. We haven't really talked to these people outside of Halloween, but there's no ill will. So I don't know why they wouldn't knock. But there's this other aspect to it that they have. I don't know if the dog has an electric fence that he just runs through, or if it's just a dog that they believe is more well-trained than it is.
Right.
Because I've seen him out, which bothers me already, because like I have a pit bull mix, and if I have my dog Dolly out and this dog runs up on her, she's not gonna attack, but she's gonna all of a sudden get like in defense mode and like she's riled up.
She's on a leash.
Yeah, she's riled up. Yeah. So like I don't like that anyways. I think it's a little bit rude. One other neighbor has it, but their dog is clearly, it is a fenced-in, it is an electric fence, and that dog stays in there. Like, I've never seen it leave.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. This dog, I've seen this dog in my yard. We went and found them one time because their dog was running towards the main road in Oregon. Because I was like, your dog's going to get hit, like running away. One time we helped someone corral their dog. Like, it's out all the time. It has definitely, I'm betting on that's random when I find random dog poop in my yard. I'm guessing that's their dog. Based on the size of the poop and the size of the dog. And they're the only one that lets their dog just roam the streets.
Right.
And it's not like it's right next to the sidewalk. Sometimes it's up by a tree in the yard. And usually if someone does not do their due diligence and pick up the dog poop, it'd be right by the sidewalk.
That's my biggest pet peeve.
It drives
me nuts.
I've been walking a ton recently and running more. And it is an epidemic of how many people don't pick up after their dog. Like, I'll be running and I'll be
so
like,
rude.
It really is. Like, in the sidewalk, I've seen it. And I'm like, what do we do? Like, I have to run around it.
It's even easier to pick up in the sidewalk.
Yeah. I mean, it is honestly an affront. Like, not that your dog should be taken away because your dog's part of the family, but like, there needs to be some public shaming for it.
Yeah.
Like public shaming for me at times is kind of like, all right, you don't want to do all that. But if you are letting your dog, and if it's a one-off, like I don't have a bag, and like, all right, I'll come back and get it. Like, but if you are habitually letting your dog go in someone else's yard, like, what are we doing?
Dog.
Because also dogs usually start picking the same yard a lot of times. So
Yeah,
now all of a sudden
they get a
someone's
spot.
Yeah. So
And honestly, if I'm a dog, I'm not in the backyard where I play. I'm not going to do that there.
I don't
I'm going to
have-
go to your yard.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I still might.
Right.
Dog.
So I don't have a necessarily a poll question because I could ask like, oh, which is worse, the yard sign or the dog poop? The dog poop's far worse.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I will just ask this:
Dog.
like, you absolutely, Ryan, you're not obviously a homeowner, but I'm sure there's things like this in an apartment. Like, you won't want someone slapping a sign on your door, being like, "Hey, party around the corner."
No, definitely not. Or, I mean, I guess the only thing could be if somebody, like, put the wrong mailing address and ended up at mine, but that's not even nearly as inconvenient.
But it would be like more than you just decide to throw it away.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's unexcusable to just do that without asking anyone. Like, this is a person you live next to. Like, you have to have a relationship with them. You cannot, like, just avoid this person.
And it's common sense. It's clearly my yard. Like, and all like we're gonna say yes. Just ask.
So do you have a relationship with them? Like this neighbor?
Not anything. I believe, and
Maybe they were afraid because they know their dog runs to your yard, and they're like, "I'm not looking for this smoke right now. I'm just going to put this sign down and boogie."
There's no bad relationship with them. In fact, the relationship we have with them was like we helped them. We knocked on their door and said, "Hey, your dog is just running around in Oregon. We're trying to make sure it doesn't get hit by a car. How can we help?" You know,
So
like,
you've only done good things to them in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even the dog in the yard, like, it's not. I'm not thrilled with it, but it's like once every 3 or 4 times I mow the yard, I see
Find
it
a
there.
random dog bomb.
Yeah. So like, it's not like it bothers me to
Little
the end of the
random
world.
dog landmine.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dog.
But right, it's definitely in poor taste, correct?
I mean, there's no question whether it's in poor taste. That's why it's not even worth a poll question. Like, there's no option. There's yes or yes.
Yeah.
It's a yes or yes poll question.
It is. That is definitely in poor taste. If I was having a garage sale, I'm certainly asking whoever I'm putting a sign in their yard, I'm asking them if I can do it first.
Have you guys ever had a garage sale? Like yourselves, ever hosted one?
We did one once, and my wife's like, "We're never doing it again." I think
it seemed like a nightmare.
Well, you got to sit outside the whole time. Like, you got to be there. Like, it just seems like a pain in the butt. I'd rather just take it to Goodwill and get a write-off.
And also, I don't want to deal with people trying to so my wife does Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, I'm giving you this, and you can sell it, and the money's yours. Because I know it is work to sell stuff on the Facebook Marketplace. So, like, we had some old Wiis. Like, we got a Switch and, like, never played the Wii. For some reason, we had 2 of them. I think someone gave us one at one point. I'm like, we've never played this. We have a Switch. Sell them. So I think she, over the course of 2 of them, we had a handful of games. She made like $150 between the 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, great, have at it. But, like, the amount of inane questions she'll have to come to me for of being like, someone wants to know if you'll hook it up, plug it in, take a video of it running. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm not. Like, that's so much work. Like, because it has to be like the cords, the red. I'm like, part of we're selling is I don't have a TV that works off the red, yellow, white cords anymore. Like, that's part of the. No, I'm not doing all that. Someone else will buy it, and someone else would. But like the hassle for it, I wouldn't want to do it.
I just use Facebook Marketplace to get rid of stuff.
Yes.
Like, I had an old, 100-year-old wooden extension ladder.
Yeah.
I put that on Facebook Marketplace. It was gone in like an hour. It was
usually I
incredible.
can put stuff at the end of you basically the unwritten rule in living in suburbia is if you put things, and God forbid you put something there you don't want taken. If you put something at the end of your driveway, people will come and And we put some stuff down there, and I've laughed at how quickly it's come up, and I'm like, thank God I was wanting to give that away. But we have a rug that we bought a new one at Costco, and the old one. It's not in horrible shape. It's not in great shape. I caught it with the lawnmower, and so like part of it's cut up. But otherwise,
a rug,
like an outdoor rug.
Oh, okay. I was like, Jim, you use a vacuum, not the lawnmower on your carpet inside.
An outdoor rug. So we put it out, and now we've been trying to give it away. But again, it's a free rug. It was like $100 rug. Like, you could put an outdoor couch over that part. And the only reason we replaced it on our end of it was that it was too good of a deal at Costco to pass up. We're like, all right, we'll just. But anyways, it's been sitting out there forever. So maybe what I should do is take that rug and put it on their yard.
Oh. Just put it on
But
the
then
doorstep.
put it on Facebook Marketplace, give them their address.
Right.
Because you know it. The sign is right there.
That's true, yeah.
That would be truly savage.
Savage.
Because
Oh, my
otherwise, no
gosh.
one, Madison asked if I have a paintball gun. Someone else said, shame them. I don't know their name, but Jeremiah says they know Jim won't hug his mother-in-law, so they're not knocking on his door.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah,
Fair point.
indeed.
Do you
Indeed.
have, like, is there an event or something coming up you could just, like, make the sign
And
something
put it in
else?
their yard?
No,
Oh.
no. Put it in front of it.
Oh.
Like, happy birthday, daughter, or
Right, yeah.
or flip it around so it faces your house and right on the back of it, like, have a nice day.
Or just
honk if you're happy.
Honestly, just put like duct tape over the top and just make it your sign. Just make it into something else.
I could just take it. I could pull it out of the ground.
that too. But I
Yeah.
think it's more
Yeah.
fun if you're passive aggressive.
Well,
Yeah,
and
the
we
troll
did-
part
yes.
of it is
Yes.
the fun
We don't
part.
have any more of the slow down signs. They gave it because, like, unfortunately, where we are at, people try to like cut through to get away from the main road in Oregon, and it's like I get speeding, but like going 35 and 25, like don't ever do it. Like there's kids, there's dogs, like you just don't. You know, like
The juice ain't worth the
yeah,
squeeze.
you learn that when you get older, but it's like so if you see a high school kid, you're like, all right, they're stupid, they don't know anything. But like when you see an adult, it's like, come on, man, like you know people live here. My neighbor, boss move. If every once in a while I've seen him do it. If he sees someone coming around the corner, because that's the other part, it's kind of a blind turn. So
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
come around the
gosh.
corner, like if I'm backing up in my car, like someone's gonna hit me if they're going too fast.
Yeah.
But he'll walk out slow and then just kind of hang in the street and basically make them slow down.
Right.
I was like, good on you, man. Like that is boss move. But
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you have good health insurance.
because these are not people that live in the community. 844-770-3776. Carl was talking text line. Josh and Sun Prairie chimed in again. The NBA is going the way of hockey, and the sport has become largely unwatchable. Absolutely disagree on that. Both sides of it. Hockey, honestly, what hurt hockey, which is what I think is going to hurt college football, at least Big Ten college football, is ending up on networks you don't know where they're at. Like ESPN losing or the Big Ten leaving ESPN for a cash grab, I think works against it because now you have to watch Big Ten football on like Peak or whatever it is, Big Ten Network and all these other. And so these games are harder to find, and that's what killed hockey for a while there. The commissioner sees this and is doing what he can to claw back from fans. Look, the NBA ratings up until the NBA Finals were higher than they've been in a few years. So I'm going to strongly disagree on the unwatchable part.
What do you mean up until the NBA Finals? They're not a watched one because it was two small market teams?
Two small market teams.
Oh, my gosh. That's too bad because it was a great series.
So I had I don't have the audio here, but I can paraphrase. Jay Billis had a great quote on people who don't like the NBA and think college basketball is better. His quote was, and it is inflammatory, but I'll give you the full context to it. If you think college basketball is better than the NBA, it's not for basketball reasons, which could be inflammatory. But he goes on, if you believe that, it's because you like the pomp and circumstance around the college game, the band, the whole ambiance, and you like your college team.
Yeah.
Like, which I agree. Because Jay Billis is Mr. College Basketball. And if Mr. College Basketball says, it ain't close, the NBA is ungodly better, they try harder, it's a harder sport, it is a billion times better, if you're a sheer basketball lover. Now, again, if you like college basketball because you like the kids who are going to be plumbers in 4 years trying their heart out, and it's a lesser form of basketball. Because,
and each game means more because there's a shorter season.
Because the other idea of it was, like, he's like, if you like college basketball, then you should like high school basketball even more. Because because if that's your reasoning, like high school,
well, there's a threshold at
most of
like
those
the
kids,
talent level.
Most of those kids are going to go do nothing too. So like those games mean the world to them. So it was just a good point, and it doesn't mean that you don't like basketball. I honestly, I've said this a million times. They're two different sports,
right?
College basketball and the NBA.
It certainly seems like it.
All right, we'll throw some stones on the other side. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Come on, Matt. You're the fantasy football guy.
I know, but like we're pretty far removed from fantasy last year. Like,
and honestly, you're into tight ends. Like, I knew how that was gonna sound before I said it, but I didn't mean it like.
Okay.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities. Plus, membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Jim Rutledge here. It's officially camping season, which means I will be using my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. What does that mean? It means it's a customized buying experience. If you're an expert and you know what you want, they're happy to let you take the lead. And if you have a ton of questions, Aaron, Tyler, and the whole team at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb will make sure they can answer them all. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Madison present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
I am joined by a special guest, Dr. Joe Gothard, Superintendent of the Madison Metropolitan School District. Sport has always been your platform. You've used that. You were a coach at Madison La Follette. Your path has taken you so far. How do you still view yourself as a coach in your role today?
I think as far back as I can remember, some of my earliest memories of community and coming together and being part of something, bigger than perhaps myself or family, are the teams that I played on as a kid. I step into many gymnasiums today and I tell the students I used to play here. But it's just always meant a lot to me. And I think it's something I want to give back.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube and on Facebook for more with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. The Cheese Capital Cup is next on June 27th through the 29th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. We are presented by Coors Light. And it's about that time that we're going to throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, it is time to throw some stones, and it's for former friend of the show, Alex Strofe.
Former friend?
Yeah, we disowned him after watching this.
Yeah.
Oof.
No idea. Mr. Irrelevant. So, Alex Strofe has continued his run of unathletic prowess. And he, this time, tried to throw out a first pitch at a what's the team? Lakeshore Chinooks?
The Lakeshore Chinooks, yeah. They're a minor league team in the Milwaukee area.
I feel like they're part of the Mallard group.
Are they Northwoods? I don't think they're Northwoods. I think they're a
No, but
minor
I think
league
the
team.
ownership group might own
Yes.
it. Yes. I could be wrong, but anyways, I had an opportunity to throw out the first pitch of that. So obviously a low to no pressure scenario for Alex Stroh, who already proved that he runs like Pinocchio.
That's disrespectful.
Pinocchio. Yeah, a real boy who came to life as started as a, was it a puppet?
Marionette, puppet.
So that's Alex Stroh's running ability. We've seen him, Matt, firsthand. And I think you're going to see this on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream.
Yes, you will.
You can, again, if you have the ESPN Madison YouTube stream up, you can stream us on ESPN Wisconsin, and we'll see the
a side-by-side.
Side-by-side of the pitching, first of all, of Matt Hamilton and Alex Stroh throwing first pitches. Matt Hamilton where's that? That's at AmFam Field.
Yep.
And a little bit more pressure there, and good pitch. And
Yeah, I would have chinned a lefty. It was a ball. I'm no Miz, but
doesn't matter.
Catcher hardly had to move for it.
My understanding is, Alex, there's a dog that's job is to retrieve a ball after the first pitch is thrown at the Chinooks game, and the dog was confused. It didn't even know where to find the ball because Alex threw it so far away.
Right, and Ben Brust is actually the one catching the pitch there in that video, and you can see he has to jump up to try and catch it because it's going 5 feet over his left-handed
and
glove.
Ben's what, like 6'3"?
Yeah, I mean he's
And
a college
jump?
basketball player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he almost has to run over this dog to try and go fetch the ball and just to catch the ball. So the dog was just petrified, I'm sure. I mean, Alex Stroh, it's just abusing animals out here now. It's disgusting.
Well, I mean, maybe he didn't want to hit the dog, so he threw it a little high.
I mean,
just a bit outside.
Yeah,
honestly,
just a bit high.
Honestly, it looks like he was aiming for the dog because he actually throws it right above the dog's head.
Well, the thing is, it's just a bad release point. Like when you throw it that high, like he must have panicked. Because he let it go. He must have let it go.
The mascot's standing behind it too, and it's like dumbfounded.
To airmail it like that, you must have let it go before you even reached the top of your throw.
There's so many people
because the
in
ball is
danger.
going up.
Yeah.
So like he's letting it go, like where his hand before his hand reaches its pinnacle. So then the ball just flies.
How many times do you think he had thrown a baseball in his life leading up to this moment yesterday?
In the last, I would say 5 years, probably never.
0, right?
But also, you would at least go out and play catch.
I did it in the parking lot at Miller Park. We were tailgating.
Yep.
I had a whole crew Miller. It was great. The AmFam Field had hooked us up with a box. And a bunch of tickets, right? You know, we could fill it. And it's my box. So I brought a bunch of friends. I rented a bus. We were tailgating around the bus, and I asked one of my buddies who I knew used to play baseball. I was like, "Can you catch for me a little bit?"
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was warned. I did not heed that warning, but the first tip that anyone who's thrown a first pitch will give you is don't go onto the mound.
Yes.
It is so different when you're a foot and a half higher.
Yep.
Don't go onto the mound. Now, me, I'm an athlete. I definitely was like, I'm going onto the mound. I just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And even if I throw it like a foot high, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But first of all, the thing that upsets me the most and the reason I'm throwing this stone, I don't care that Alex totally botched the throw. What bothers me is he knows how many times I've had opportunities to throw out a first pitch at a game and didn't reach out hey, any tips? I'm doing this. We still talk back and forth. I thought that would be something he would be like, oh, this is fun. I know I'm friends with Matt Hamilton. He's thrown out 5 opening pitches at ball games.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
Well, there's the audacity in his lack of athleticism because he could have easily just
lobbed it.
Yeah, or again, have a few toss the ball around beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't my girls are not much into baseball. I haven't tossed the baseball around a little bit, but I might not even go as far as you do to have someone catch me. I'd be like, can we just play catch? Yeah, I just want to make sure I remember. Have the muscle memory to release it because you're going to feel nerves out there.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah. That is real.
We did the basketball thing, and I didn't do great in it, but Alex played for 2 minutes and then ran and threw up. And then he's like, I wasn't nervous. I'm like, well, I hope you were nervous because otherwise, why can you not jog back and forth on the court twice without having to then go throw up? At the Easter Seals.
He has some very concerning medical issues too, which makes me worry about him.
Yeah, but
when
also
he tries to do
again,
stuff like
if
this.
you're doing the shuffle, I have a feeling the combine thing, wouldn't you just put a little effort into making sure that you're running properly? And It's one thing to not be good at sports. It's another to be like, I'm not going to bother to give any effort to, like, if you decided to just go out and run, you wouldn't look as bad as Alex did. Or go out and throw and look as bad as Alex did. But Alex, having no discernible athletic skill to go out and do that is pretty bold.
Yeah. That's why people were confused in that they thought the combine stuff was fake.
Right.
At least, I mean, obviously.
I did it first.
I mean, how could you not? It looked like AI generated, honestly. It didn't look like a real person.
Show the most unathletic man running combine drills. That's what AI would have came up with.
Yeah, it was.
By the way, one last thing I want to do, guys. Speaking of first pitches, there's another notable Wisconsin sports figure who threw out a first pitch recently, Jordan Love. We got the side-by-side going on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. I mean,
Jordan Love did not cover himself in glory.
He did not, but he looks like an absolute. He looks like a $55 million quarterback compared to Alex Stroh.
I will say he took someone's advice. They just said lob it in there.
Yep.
Get it over the plate. Make sure the guy behind the plate catches it. Nothing else matters. People are not going to remember even a good pitch. Even if you brought smoke, they're not really going to remember it. People only remember the absolutely botched.
Yeah,
and now Alex is going to go down in Chinook history as one of the worst opening pitch throwers ever.
Yeah, and like Jordan Love got teased a little bit because like you're a quarterback, your job is to throw.
Yeah, but it's gone now, right?
It was forgotten very quickly.
This is the first time I've heard of it since it happened.
So
I forgot it happened.
So whose first pitch was more disappointing?
That's fair.
Given expectations.
I'd still go Stroh because you should be able to at least get it.
Rank those three.
So Matt Hamilton, Jordan Love, and Alex Stroh.
Yeah. Like when that ball crossed Matt's number one.
Yeah. I put more pepper on it than Jordan Love did.
You definitely did.
I go Matt, Love, and Stroh because Stroh, what was it, 18 feet above the plate? Like, I mean, that thing soared above the plate.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Well, if Ben reaches his arm out, he's probably 7.5 feet tall, and it was still over that. So,
yeah,
outside the strike zone for sure.
I hate that he just walks off and he throws his fist up too, like he just did something.
Well, he has to own it. I mean, you might as well, if you're going to be terrible and be in on the joke.
This is the craziest weather going on right now. It's like a sunny day, but it's pouring.
Oh, that reminds me of Florida. That is very much Florida weather, where the sun is out and the rain is pouring. It is.
The sky is crying for Alex Stroh.
Yeah, for sure it is.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team for the third year in a row. Vote every day this month at madisonmagazine.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Celebrate the 4th with family, friends, and unbeatable appliance deals at Brothers Maine. Our fireworks of savings on top brands like Whirlpool, plus next day delivery, will make you ooh and ah. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about the delicious Odyssey Brands, a family-owned company crafting award-winning cheese right here in Wisconsin for over 4 generations. Made with locally sourced milk, Odyssey brings bold, Greek-style flavors straight to your table. From savory, crumbly feta to rich and creamy Greek yogurt, every bite is a taste of tradition and quality. You can find Odyssey products at most major retailers nationwide and online. Odyssey, crafted in Wisconsin, loved everywhere, dairy done right.
The search for luxury begins at Audi Madison. Save $5,500 when you purchase or lease a new 2025 Audi Q7 55. National customer credit is good toward the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until June 30th. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
If you're considering solar energy, Sweet Metal Roofing and solar panels go hand in hand.
Solar panels install effortlessly over metal, and it enhances the efficiency of your solar energy.
Before you go solar,
install a Sweet Metal roof.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Sweda. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Sweda metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Sweda Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. I've been telling you for years how great Door County Distillery is. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. The sun is shining, and so can the Rock Island Rum from Door County Distillery in your summertime cocktail. Otherwise, vodkas, gins, whiskeys, brandies, and more, it's all available from the award-winning Door County Distillery. Find a huge list of unique cocktail recipes and the retailer nearest you, doorcountydistillery.com. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Madison School and Community Recreation's For Friends Golf Outing is Wednesday, July 23rd at the Oaks Golf Course. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. New this year is the Laid Back Links Golf Clinic, an instructional golf clinic for beginners who would like to improve their golf game. Taught by the Oaks professional golf staff, this group lesson includes dinner and drinks, plus a chance to win prizes in the raffle and silent auction. Head to birdease.com/MSCR for more information and to register today. That's BIRDEASE.com/MSCR.
Hey Madison, this is Jim from Jim, Matt, and Molly. For the third year in a row, we've been nominated for Best of Madison Radio Team by Madison Magazine.
This year, we need your help to take home the gold in Best of Madison.
They say people like us, so show it and vote at madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
Voting is open now, so don't wait. Head to madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
That's madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
Thanks,
Madison.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025. Vote for us every day this month at madisonmagazine.com.
Whisker Steakhouse in Middleton. Go enjoy their sizzle, swizzle, and swirl happy hour. The rain has faded. Is this Creedence Clearwater Revival?
It is. I accidentally looked up the karaoke version, which doesn't have the words.
I did hear it. I was expecting to hear John Fogerty come on in there, but he did not. Go say hi to Lee and Kevin over at Whisker Steakhouse in Middleton. Enjoy the sizzle, swizzle, and swirl happy hour. A burger, fried calamari, steak sandwich, all great over there. And make sure to wash it down with the Coors Light. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Willett alongside Primetime Wollersheim. I'm going to miss you guys. I am out tomorrow. I'll call in if you guys want me, though. So if you guys, I'll put it out like this. If you guys want me to join the show, I'm just going to my parents' house to help my dad. They got a dumpster, so I'm going to help him kind of empty out the dumpster and everything. Old people collect things forever, and so they're finally going to clear out their house some and get rid of a lot of the old stuff. So I'll be doing that. So I'll be around. If you guys want me, I'll be on it. But then next week I am out because for my sales job, the week of July 4th is like nobody's doing any business. Everyone's out. So how much are you in next week, Matt?
I'm under the impression I'm going to be here every day next week.
I am under the impression.
Well, you won't be here on Thursday. Because that's the 4th of July.
Right.
Yes.
Wait, absolutely.
I thought, isn't Friday the 4th of July?
Or Friday is the 4th of July? I guess if you won't be here on Friday, that's the 4th of July. You're right. Friday is the 4th of July. You won't be here on Friday. That's the 4th of July.
It's even if you're not taking off work like Jim is, because some people are hard workers over here, like Matt and I.
Grinder.
But it is a beautiful 3-week weekend. 3-day weekend. 3-week weekend.
What are you, Jim?
You can see where my mind. Yeah, exactly. 3-week weekend. It's usually the Matt Hamilton.
Now, mind you, Jim.
Yep.
I'm remote tomorrow as well.
Yep, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to have the hall monitor subbing in for you. So do you still want to call in knowing that the hall monitor is running the show?
That's fair. I'll leave it to you guys. I'll be available.
We'd be more than happy to have Jim
I would
on.
say, like, especially if something happens, Bucks make a trade or do something.
What do you think? What percentage odds would you put on that? Like, when you
25?
say make a trade, like just move up in the second round?
No,
like, is that
I mean,
enough?
I feel like now's the time to at least start trying to move around. Whether it's Dame for something, like you got to start moving some salary. You got to, they can't do the sign and trades. Like I'm predicting a sign and trade with Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis. I think both of them are going to get a sign and trade so they can maximize some dollars, and then the Bucks can get something back. Could be second round picks, could be younger, less proven players, something. That way, it serves the Bucks' purposes, it serves the players' purposes, and so that way. the team involved. Those are very common.
I'm going to go 2.5% chance that the Bucks doing it.
So they're not going to do any with that with any of those players. But like Kuzma or Dame, now's the time. I'm not expecting anything big, but I don't
believe it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I haven't seen much smoke around it, but I'm still going to say 25%. See if they can pull something off. Well, I'm going to be heading over to Made 'em Believe over at the Orpheum. I believe UWHoops2015.com is how you can get in. The doors open for general admission starting at 6 o'clock, so you can still get a ticket. The show doesn't start till 7, so you do have some window there to get on over there and see Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Josh Gosser, Bo Ryan, along with Ben Brust over at the Orpheum today. I will be out. When I get back, what are we predicting? Right now, the Cubs are 3 games up on the Brewers. What are we predicting? Brewers and Cubs tied?
Yeah. Tied? I'll say Brewers are 1 game behind.
That's actually where I was going to go exactly. Because the Brewers have a pretty easy schedule in front of them for a little bit here. Pittsburgh into the Rockies. I think the game after that, the series after that's pretty soft too.
I think it's the Marlins.
Marlins are in there. The Mets are somewhere in there. The Mets are good, so that could jam them up a little bit. All right. Enjoy your 4th of July. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.
Live the high life at Nitty Gritty, home of the famous Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Celebrate your birthday at Nitty Gritty and receive a free Memento birthday mug to fill with free beers, specialty birthday cocktails, or soda all day long. The Nitty Gritty has celebrated almost 900,000 birthdays, and birthday celebrant number 900,000